I just locked in on like one assignment. Um, but I'm just always being reminded that school does not work out for me. Like, and it stopped working. It stopped working out a long time ago. And I keep like being delusional, like trying to apply to other schools, even though I don't have the stats to apply to other schools. So I actually just need to make sure that I can get into a school once I'm done with this school, if that makes any sense, and stop making attempts to transfer halfway. But yeah, there are a couple of videos that I didn't upload. And I just like need a miracle. Like, I don't even know, because the only thing I've ever been is a student. So like, it's blowing me and it's annoying when school doesn't work out for me, because that means that nothing is working out for me, because I've only ever been a student. So I'm trying to figure out what does work for me, and yeah, I only have like, I don't have any friends, which is what I wanted to happen. But whenever I have to talk to somebody, like, I usually just talk to them about all the things that I like, because I just have a lot of interests, right? So I usually do that in group environments, or I do that with like one-on-one friends. And I have like, but yeah, I'm friends with like whenever like I'm friends with like a guy, unfortunately, and then that nigga like wanna catch like a slight attitude, I don't even know, like, I just drop that nigga, because like, no offense, but like, men's negative energy is like actually so debilitating. Like, I'm always confused, like, what attitude that they're getting, because like, no offense, but like, men like bring down the mood of the function exponentially when they're upset, and they never can explain what is the problem. But okay, so I have this, I know this one guy that I'm friends with one-on-one, kind of, and then we have shared friends, I guess. And I talked to him about like, whenever I have to be around him, I just like talk about like music, or like anything, like, I don't even know, what do I talk to them about? Just whatever my interests are at the time. So playlists, or the new things that I discovered, or new pictures that I discovered, new feelings that I discovered. because I just talk to people like how I would talk to a journal or something. Like, I'll just be like, I have to tell you something or whatever to said person, like whoever it is. I actually don't care. So I'll talk to him about that, right? And I've already mentioned to him like that I plan on buying these headphones, these like Sony headphones or whatever. So I have mentioned that to him a couple of times, one-on-one. So the other day I had to have lunch with him and like 2 other girls, and I sat down with them, so it was 3 niggas and me. And he was kind of like catching an attitude while I was speaking, like kind of acting like he was like gonna put me down in front of the other girls, or like I'm the dumb one out of all of them or something. And I don't know like what to do with that type of energy. Like, do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, when that happens, like, it's just like weird. Because when I was speaking to him one-on-one, oh yeah, because he was doing that when I was talking about how I was going to buy the headphones, and then all of a sudden he said that was a useless purchase or something. And when we hang out one-on-one, he doesn't say anything negative, but when I said something that I usually say to him one-on-one to the group, then he decided to have an attitude. And yeah, when men are on that type of time, because I have a brother and a dad, I already know that like they just immediately, again, destroy the function, destroy the energy of the function, and then they can never, they're always DL about like the reason why they decided to destroy the energy of the function and put something down or degrade something random. Like, they can never explain what the reason for that was. So when he did it, I was just kind of confused, like, I already talk with you about that, so why are you getting weird if I talk to like 2 other girls about the same thing that I talk with you about? You know what I'm trying to say? So yeah, I'm gonna have to drop. Well, it doesn't even matter because I don't have any friends. Like, I don't consider anybody at this school to be a friend. I already told you, but like, do you know what I'm trying to say? And then there's this other girl that I'm friends with, and I was telling her about my ops one time, and I was calling them racist, which they are. And she is black, and she was kind of playing the devil's advocate about it, being like her mask finally came off, and she was kind of being like, oh, you know, I doubt that it was racist. Like, people of color, especially black people, need to stop thinking about everything as if it's racist, even though I'm sure that everything that happened to you was completely valid. But I just feel like black people need to, I don't even know if she said black, I think she said like, you know, that long ass word, African American or something, like, and I was just kind of like, oh, because yeah, like her mask like finally came off. And yeah, because I just kind of feel like, even if also, like, I didn't even really explain to her what happened with my ops. Like, I was literally just saying that they are in general, and I didn't even explain the specifics. So for her to play the devil's advocate about something that she don't actually know about is actually blowing me. Because why are you choosing some people white that you don't know over me, even if it wasn't like racist because you're not even in the same grade as the people that I'm talking about. Like, so yeah, and it's sad because she's the girl that like defended me to that one guy, this one guy that works at the lunchroom that was talking about my makeup or something. He was like, I already told you guys about it. It was in my video called Don't Tell Me What to Do. And I was just talking about how like some guy was like talking about my makeup and he doesn't wear makeup. And it's a guy that works at my school, so he don't even go to my school. So yeah, so she defended me to him. Like, she did not even like budge or like leap at the opportunity to like talk about me negative to some random person. But that nigga was black, so she didn't like leap at the opportunity to be negative about me to him, but she did like take some people white side that she don't know. And people like that are very scary, like but yeah. But I don't even want to get into her because if I'm being completely honest, like most people that I've ever been friends with, especially after my junior year of high school, like keep looking at my chest a lot, or like my like I don't even know, like my chest a lot or my lips a lot, so I can't even like have any friends because I have a lot of evidence that they like see me in a like sexually gratifying perspective, like, you know what I'm trying to say? So again, like, I don't have any friends, no. And yeah, so the thing that's getting me down currently, you know, it doesn't even matter, but the thing that's getting me down is that, again, the only thing that I've ever been is a student, and it's never going well since middle school. So that's not going well. And yeah, and then I don't even know why I like want to care, because I don't. Like, I just want like something to care about, like, do you know what I'm trying to say? And I really don't like my school, but I don't think I would like any school, so that's why I'm okay with the fact that I go here, because I don't think I would like any school. And so yeah, the thing that's getting me down is that I didn't what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, poor student performance, and then always wanting to escape every school that I've ever been in, ever. Like, just like, oh, I want to go to a different school, even though they all the same. and I'm just gonna see doppelgangers at every school ever. So there's that. And then just got off my period, and trust no one. I cannot trust anybody, which I don't. So yeah, I don't have any friends. I do feel alone, but it's way more lonely to like, it's way more lonely for me to hang out with people. Like, whenever I hang out with people, like, it's genuinely so lonely. So like, I don't know, like, would I rather be lonely alone or be lonely with niggas? Like, I'm trying to decide. And then, but I'm not lonely because I don't like companionship. I just want to trust another person with everything that I trust myself with, if that makes any sense. Like, do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, because I don't want companionship, because I don't like hanging out with other people, but I do want to trust another person with everything that I trust myself with. And then something else that's getting me down that I've been reflecting on lately is that, like, which I can only reflect on now that I'm an adult, because I'm 19. I was not an adult when I was 18, so that's why. And I have to turn 20 in a week, so I feel like I can actually reflect on this now. But I had to, like, I literally, my senior year of high school, I literally, like, I think about this a lot now, because it was such a long time of, like, something that I thought was, like, what's the word for it? Something that I thought was, like, normal and part of the plot, but it was not. Okay. Okay, so my senior year of high school, okay, so it's 2024 right now. My senior year was 2021 to 2022. So that's when I graduated. But my senior year of high school, I was like 17 and 18 at this time. My senior year of high school, I literally had to, like, oh yeah, so I've been thinking about this for the past week, but I literally had to come out to my mom because this, like, really, like, no offense, but, like, he was very, like, disgusting. Like, this disgusting guy was, like, pursuing where it was, like, wait, what's the word for it? I don't know how to explain it, but, like, he was, like, trying me out, because I don't want to say the wrong words, but I had to, like, come out to my mom because of this guy, because she thought that we were, like, dating or something, but, like, me, like, oh yeah, and all of this stuff that he did was actually the grossest thing ever. And I don't even want to get into it, but I'm gonna have to. Hopefully this only takes like 4 minutes for me to get into it. But basically, my mom was like encouraging me to like be attracted to this guy at my high school who like kept talking to me. And thank God that I'm not like a straight girl, because he was like expecting me to be delusional about him. And no offense, but like he came across gay, so I thought that he was gay also. But basically, what he did was like our first time hanging out, my mom made him like come into the house when he okay, so he initiated us hanging out or whatever, and my mom told me that he has to come into the house before we go somewhere. So he went into my driveway, and then he had to go to the door, and then he shook both of my parents' hands. And my mom is such a pick-me that she wants to like live through me, and she thinks that he's like interested in me or something. So she answered the door in like this fake high-pitched voice because she wanted the guy to think that she was me, and she wants to live through me. So she wanted him to think that she was me when she was answering her door, because she's a perv. And so she made the guy shake her and my dad's hand, and she like hugged him and stuff, and it was like really weird and embarrassing. But basically, this guy, like, I don't really know what he was like expecting. Actually, no, I know what he was expecting. So basically, this guy was like white Hispanic or something, but I don't know what to call him. What should I name him? Okay, I'm gonna call this guy Lip Gloss. So Lip Gloss initiated us hanging out or whatever, and he was 18 turning 19 senior year, so he was a super senior, and I was 17 turning 18 that year. But that was like, both of our birthdays were in the spring, and at the time it was fall. So he was expecting me to be delusional, like a delusional, like straight, like girl, thinking that, or a delusional straight girl, like dying for any, romantic encounter with a man, like expecting me to think that it was a date. The reasons why that it wasn't a date was because he came across gay, first of all. Second of all, he made me choose where we went. So how could I choose where we go if you're a man? And then he drove us there, and then I sat down at the place, and I didn't order food because I had an eating disorder. And another reason why it wasn't a date was because he wasn't gonna pay for my food. You know what I'm trying to say? And then so he ordered himself something, and then while we were sitting down, he started talking to me about how attractive he was. So he was trying to convince me subliminally, but not subliminally, very overtly, that he was attractive. He was trying to convince me that he was attractive so that I could think that he was attractive, which I didn't find him attractive because he's a man. And he was basically talking about how men are jealous of him because he's very attractive, and he works out a lot, so he's very attractive. And then I accidentally slipped up and said, "You think you're attractive?" But I didn't mean to say it like that. And then he got sassy and got attitude, and he was like, "You think you're attractive?" He was just so annoying. But basically, he would just be yapping and yapping that entire time. And then another reason why this was not romantic, the third reason why this was not romantic was, oh yeah, he didn't open the door. And then a fourth reason why it wasn't romantic, aside from him coming across gay, was that he told me, oh yeah, and he would keep like trauma dumping like sexual things onto me. So he would like tell me his sexual preferences, and I would just have to be like, okay, like I didn't ask. You do know what I'm trying to say? So the first time we was sitting down and he was eating and I was just watching him eat, but I was sitting to the right of him, he was talking about how he was telling me about the type of women that he's attracted to, because the entire time of us hanging out, he just couldn't stop talking about what he was attracted to, so that I could tell him what I was attracted to, so that he could try to become it, literally. But I didn't tell him what I was attracted to because he would have to become a girl. But he was basically like, so another reason why it wasn't romantic was because we were sitting down and he was talking to me about how he is attracted to women that are masked, and then he said that he wants to move with more them in the relationship, which is just like, why are you telling me that? So then I just had to sit next to him being like, well dude, like I hope you find that, like, do you know what I'm trying to say? Because I don't care. And then he was telling me that he wants to date a girl that's a switch sexually, which I don't even know what that means, because I don't even know how people have sex with men, so I don't even care. But he told me that. And then he just told me like all of his sexual preferences and his dick size, and he was just oversharing to me because he expected me to be a delusional straight girl and overshare to him. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So that we could both like, I don't even know, make accommodations to our preferences for each other, which doesn't even make any fucking sense. But yeah, so the rest of our time hanging out for the entire school year, we would just like hang out or walk in the hallways together, and I was basically giving him a lot of clout that I didn't know about because I was 17 and I didn't know what anybody thought of me. But I went to that school district for my entire life and did not have a single friend. So the fact that he was seen talking to me was like really bizarre. So I basically was like giving him a lot of clout by being seen next to him, because I was really pretty in high school. So I was just giving him like a lot of clout, because did nobody know why he was talking to me, because nobody knew why anybody how anybody could get the opportunity to talk to me. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Because I was like really exclusive. So I was like giving him a lot of clout, and yeah. And he told me that he had a fetish for, no, he told me that he was like into girls that are black, which means that he has a fetish for black women. And then he got on Tinder because he was 18 at the time in high school. And then he told me that he wanted to have mixed kids, which is also a fetish. And he was expecting me to be a delusional straight girl and be like, oh my god, you want to have, oh my god, I'm dying for a nigga to tell me that he wants to have mixed kids. Like, do you know what I'm trying to say? So he was just like oversharing sexual things to me. Like literally every conversation we had went back to sex. Like we were talking about older women one time, and then he was like, oh, do you think you'll be hot when you're older? Do you know what I mean? So every conversation went back to sex. So he was basically conditioning me to be comfortable with talking about sex with him, so that he could like condition me to do it with him, literally. because there was no reason why we had to have all of those sexual conversations, because it was very mature conversations for my age. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, him talking about how he wants to have mixed kids is literally disgusting and too mature of a conversation to be talking about with a high schooler. But he was also like trying to pursue like 15-year-olds as well. But I didn't know that because I thought that his relationship with me was innocent. So I perceived his relationships, him trying to talk to 15-year-olds, as innocent when I was a kid. But it was not innocent, because you won't have anything. You are 18. You don't have anything in common with anybody who's 15. So no wonder they don't want to hang out with you, because they want to date another 15-year-old. Like, duh. But yeah, so he was basically just like very female-centered, trying, after he realized that I wasn't gonna be delusional about his gay ass, he was just like telling me about all the women that he was talking to like see if I would give a fuck, even though I never asked him about who he was talking to, because none of our conversations needed to be about romance. So he was just talking to me about who he was talking to, and I just didn't care, and I didn't ask. But I didn't have enough of a personality to change the subject, if that makes any sense. So he was literally conditioning me to like think that like that was normal, and having overly sexual conversations was normal. So in my opinion, now that I'm an adult, I think that he is like, you know what I'm trying to say, should be in jail because of what he did, because he just had no business like trying to have those grown conversations with me, if that makes any sense. And it was kind of like he was preying on me, in my opinion. So I eventually had to tell him that, but I had been told him that I was only into girls, and he was just like, he kind of perceived it as, because he had already dated a girl that he thought was only into girls. So like, he just kind of saw it as like, if he keeps talking about sex with me, that I will eventually be in such a bad place in my life that like, he's just like waiting for me to like be in a position where I feel like I need validation from men, if that makes any sense, and feel like I need to like be with him in that way, which is just unnatural. But he was just like kind of waiting around, and it was like really gross. And yeah, so because my mom is like because I literally hate my mom for this, but she was like kind of acting like our relationship was romantic, and I was really offended because of what he was actually doing to me, which I'm gonna explain all of this to my mom later. But I was really offended that she thought that I was dating him. But I'm really glad that I have only been interested in girls for my whole life, because there are things wrong with him, you know, that I never really would have saw if I was like a really delusional straight girl. And I was really offended that my mom wanted me to date him without really asking me like what our relationship was like, if that makes any sense, like why he was even talking to me, if that makes any sense. And yeah, so I kind of hate my mom, but I had to come out to her, because I was just like, no, like I'm not dating this like gay, like this DL ass nigga, like that is like trying to that thinks that he can, that doesn't do that. I'm not gonna date a guy that isn't even the guy in the relationship. Like, do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, he didn't do anything. Like, do you know what I'm trying to say? So that's why I always thought that it wasn't romantic, because he came across gay, he didn't pay for anything, and then he told me about what he was attracted to. He told me his type was women that are masked, and I was like, not for all of high school. So he just like found the most not masked girl, and then you know, he was just like trauma dumping onto me. I don't know, like I didn't see it that way, but now that I'm an adult, like I know that that's what that was. Do you know what I'm trying to say? But yeah, but I don't really have like any reason to like really I don't know how to explain it. Like, why would I date, like, aside from our sexual orientations not lining up, like, no girl should date like a nigga that doesn't do all of those things. Like, do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, but then after he realized that I was like a hyper femme in high school, once he realized that with his gay ass, like he did like start like opening a door for me and stuff like that, even though I still didn't like him. And he started like complimenting me instead of talking about himself all the time. And he would start like complimenting the femme things about me, because once he realized that I wasn't gonna be delusional about him, and I'm not gonna be and even if I, and that would be super embarrassing because he comes across like he likes niggas. But he realized that I wasn't gonna be delusional about him, so he started like complimenting like the femme things about me and opening the door for me. And I still didn't like him, obviously, because you don't even like girls. You have a fetish for black people as a whole. Like, it's not even about like, do you know what I'm trying to say? So I had to tell my mom all of this because I'm just not realizing as an adult that that was like really inappropriate. And my mom is like too immature to realize that because she doesn't have any experience with men. And she's only with my dad because that was probably just like, again, just out of convenience, like being with a nigga. But yeah, I'm actually like really mad at my mom about that, but I'm glad that like I was like, I don't know, like I was kind of smart as a kid, but like I'm even smarter now, but I was like really smart for that. But I kind of reflect on that, and that kind of gets me down sometimes when I think about it, because I'm just like, oh my god. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And it's just like blowing me that he thought I was gonna be dumb, if that makes any sense. But yeah. Okay, I'll talk to you later. I'll talk to you tomorrow.